Many blessings to you, my beautiful sister. So I have here your abundance relationship reading, and I'm just going to jump right into it. So we have quite a few cards. So let's start with your overall theme and message of your reading cards. So you got empowerment, which is in the upright position. I recognize and appreciate all that inspires me to feel empowered. And new beginnings. So when doing this reading and preparing for this reading, I felt a few things that I wanted to mention before I got into it. So I feel like you guys are doing both doing some kind of karmic healing when it comes to divine unions and connections when it comes to dealing with money and abundance. That's why I feel for a good amount of time you guys need to be individually empowering each other to build your own kind of wealth and stability, if that makes any sense. In a space of where you're building up your own independent wealth and prosperity and abundance, your relationship with it, abundance, you're building your own, and in turn he's building his own. Because I feel like what Spirit is trying to say is that you guys are still working through subconscious issues when it comes to mixing money, when bringing money together in a relationship and dealing with it. You know what I mean? Dealing with it that way when you come together and you deal with money together. Because I feel like on your end, you're still subconsciously dealing with some ways and the way you relate to money when it comes to mixing it with your significant other or partner or the man in your life, because of the things that you're still currently working through when it comes to your husband, and how you the financial issues and the issues when it comes to abundance, and the different views and perspectives when it comes to abundance, dealing with him. And I feel like that is also on his side, but I feel like his has a lot to do with not following his own intuition, at times kind of giving up on himself and not being empowered. So that's why I feel like Spirit was saying this is a new beginning for you guys, a new cycle, and it's a new cycle of self-empowerment, and you guys are going to be able to do that for each other. I feel like the union is going to help with this empowerment, empowering each other to build your own foundation, if that makes sense. So I think that that is what Spirit is trying to tell me about the overall message of your reading, okay? So I'm going to start with you first. I have both sides. He's on the right and you're on the left. So we'll start with you first. So it is how your current relationship is with abundance, your flow. How are you flowing with abundance? So, and we kind of know this from the last reading that you're having. So you're fertile. You're like on fruitful ground. You're ready to kind of manifest that those energies, those seeds, those spiritual babies that you've been working on for a while now. So you're in a place where you are just ready to manifest and birth into this 3D, the creations that you've been pouring into, that you've been working on, that you've been, having faith and hope and pouring into. You're ready to see and those seeds bear fruit, and abundance is confirming that you're in a space where they are going to start bearing fruit. You're in alignment, and you're deserving of the fruit that you're going to be bearing from the trees, because of all the tending. It's like I see you in your own spiritual garden, and it's a garden of things that you're planting and that you've planted, far as material possessions, like manifestations and things of that nature. And I feel like you have been tending to all your business and all these little things, and you've been tending to them meticulously, like with a fine tooth comb, and even when things would go bad, like in a garden when you'll have bugs coming to eat at the stuff, or you didn't bear any fruit. You still believed in it, you still poured into it, and that's why you're in alignment to see some of this come to fruition. And then you're upright, you have non-attachment. So it's like you've come to be in a space of flow, and you're not really attached to how things show up, because you understand, and this butterfly, because you understand that things come in many different forms, in many different ways, right? Some things come out of nowhere, so you allow the spirit of abundance to show up in your life in any form or fashion or symbol or idea. So you don't really have an attachment to how things show up, which is really good with abundance, because abundance shows up in your life in so many different ways. And a lot of times it's not just material, right? And I think you're very much aware of that, is what abundance is saying. And I'm certain that I will reach my goal while letting go of what will happen. Yeah, just not really attached to the outcome, because like I said, when I see you tending to this garden of where all your manifestations are being housed, your creations, your spiritual births, your babies, right, of the creations that you're having, you tend to them even without having the results, not seeing much happen, but you were still in a space where, my baby's going to grow, let me take care of it, I love you so much, that kind of energy. And then you have free spirit. So this is more of that non-attachment kind of energy, allowing yourself to be free, to feel free, allowing yourself not to be restrained because of results, not really being that kind of person that needs to see things right away, but understanding and overstanding that things will happen, having that undying faith and belief in yourself. And then you got the sun. So yes, it's just that more confirmation from Spirit about a job well done, and how you have continued to believe in yourself and your creations and your babies, your spiritual babies, even though at times things did not look as sunny, as bright, and sometimes the sun didn't come out when you needed your flowers, or let's say your plants or your gardens to grow. There was a lot of rain and a lot of storm and things like that, and sometimes you couldn't save all your babies, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff is what I'm seeing. But the sun, you have the sun, so there's a lot of things that are going to come to fruition within your relationship with abundance. So let's see what he's got going on currently. What is his current relationship with abundance? Ooh. So for him, he has hope in reverse, magic upright, light upright, mystery upright, and love in reverse. So let's start with love. So it's, like I said, with his energy, it feels as though that he's working on some aspects of self-worth, self-determination, personal power and will. A lot of that solar plexus energy he needs to work on, because it's kind of blocking the way that he views and experiences his relationship with abundance. Because in order to truly love yourself, which I know that you have learned, you have to get that kind of understanding and overstanding about how things work, and what the way that things work is kind of it's kind of a mystery. You kind of don't really know how things are going to show up, or how things are going to manifest, or when they're going to manifest. It's all a part of the divine plan, and you have to kind of believe in that, you know what I mean? Have your faith in that. And this is kind of something that he's struggling with, having faith in the unknown. With the light being up and upright, he is a very, very loving person. He's very optimistic when it comes to a lot of things, which is good. Abundance likes that, to be in a place of light and positivity. But what I see with the kind of not acknowledging the dark side of things, I'm not kind of planning and being aware of things, not happening or failing or falling through, because I feel like you have that awareness, but it doesn't keep you from believing. And I think that's what makes it so powerful for us, is when we have both awareness of both good and bad, both something not manifesting or things not working out, but we still choose to align with that positive. And I feel like he kind of has to work on that aspect of understanding that there are the negative aspects of failing, you know what I mean, and having to start back again, or something not working out and having to work himself back up, or falling off the ladder and having to pick himself back up and start all over again, is what I'm hearing. And with magic, he's definitely aware of his own manifestation abilities, his own ability to make money. But there's a lot that I feel like that's why I say this, in this empowerment and this new beginning is coming in, because I feel like there's a lot he's going to learn from you as far as manifestations and magic, and a way of being and thinking, and a way of attracting certain situations and circumstances that is going to awaken him and empower him to really harness his own magic ability and his own manifestations and his ability to manifest. Because you see this hope in reverse, it's like that belief and that hope is something that we, and I say more so belief, hope is kind of, but that kind of, I would put belief here, is what he has to learn. And it's something that you've learned when it comes to him relating to abundance. Having that undying faith, having that undying awareness and belief that something is going to come to pass, even when in front of you it looks like it's crumbling to the ground, but standing in that power of, I know what is happening right in front of me, but I also know what I know, and I know that this will come to pass. I know that this will be successful. I know that all is well and all is working out in my favor for my highest good. So this is something that he's still working through currently when it comes to his relationship with abundance. Okay, so let's move them out of the way. So next we have your current blocks and obstacles and challenges when it comes to abundance. For you, there's not much, because I feel like this is something you've been working through as far as money. What abundance is, what abundance is like telling me. But I also feel like abundance wants to make it very clear that you stay in an alignment with your heart, because you got the 1 to 2, so it's 1 + 2 = 3. So stay in alignment with your heart, your soul, and your mind. It's like make sure that your heart is in alignment with whatever it is that you're doing, because you're definitely trusting your intuition. My intuition guides me to people, places, jobs that I enjoy, right? You're definitely trusting your intuition. You're definitely leaning on your support system. Let it be yourself, let it be him, let it be your guides, let it be other associates and friends and things of that nature. But what Spirit is saying, don't try to, with the flow going, being in reverse, it's like don't try to run or push yourself into things that your heart is not really, your heart is not really there, because it's going to make you a certain amount of money, or it's going to bring you a certain amount of money quickly, because it'll take you out of that flow that you're in currently, because everything comes from the heart, everything flows from the heart. So if all those three are not in alignment as they are now, because you're going into a situation, a circumstance, or a job that is bringing you that money or that fast opportunity, but it's not in alignment with your heart, then it's going to take you out of that flow that's going to bring you that real abundance and that real richness, which is not always material possessions, but feeling that wealth all over, within your body, within your mind, within your soul, within your physical body, feeling that health, that financial wealth, so that's yours. And let's see what he's got going on. He's got the forgetting oneself in the upright. I told you, he's got some self-love stuff he got to work through. Instincts in the upright. And courage. All right, so more solar plexus stuff. So he's got a lot he has to work on. Whatever situation he was dealing with, a last relationship or whatever, he had a lot of... he was giving away a lot of energy as far as money, like his attention or his energy. He was giving it a lot of his personal power and will away to a circumstance, situation, or job that was not fulfilling to him. But because it was giving him what he needed at the time, or the relationship that he was in at the time, was providing them with stability when it comes to the finances, he was, staying in it. But with the forgetting itself, 7 + 1 is 8, staying in this karmic loop, these karmic relationships, these karmic jobs that are nowhere, that kind of block your flow, block your intuition. And he has instincts. He kind of more so using his he kind of goes against his intuition and goes with his instincts. You know what I mean? More so like, all right, this is instinct. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. More so than I'm going to do this because this is right for me kind of energy. But this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do is what I feel is how he moves. And that kind of, that's not good for him all the time, because like I said, when he's always following his instincts, sometimes your instincts are more so in survival mode when you're used to just providing or being financially stable. You know what I mean? Or your finance, someone else is dependent upon your finance or lack thereof, or you're not getting enough finances or something like that. It's just like, I feel like I need to have this, so this is what I'm going to do. I have a need for this, so this is what I'm going to do. And regardless of how he physically or mentally or emotionally or even spiritually feels about it, he's going to do it because it's a need for it. There's a need and a lack kind of energy. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying he's still kind of having these karmic lessons that he needs to learn, because like I said, that 8 is coming up, and that need and that lack is coming up big for me for some reason. So he's having challenges with that, getting out of that space of need and lack and following his intuition and not his instincts of his survival instincts. You understand what I'm saying? Because when he does, he forgets himself and he puts himself in a situation where he's burnt out, he's angry, he's resentful. He's not he doesn't feel fulfilled, and it's going to take him bravery. He's going to have to be brave, and he's going to have to face his fears. My fear of rejection does not stop me from bravely moving forward. Yeah, he's going to have to face his fears when it comes to the things he knows that he needs to do. Yeah, he may need to, I don't know where he works at now, but he may need to leave that job and find something better, But it's going to take him facing himself and facing his fears of being rejected or facing what his root issues are, his root chakra issues are when it comes to not having enough, or living in that survival mode. That need and that lack kind of energy is something that he's going to have to face, that he's dealing with currently when it comes to abundance. Let me see what instincts say. I act on my instincts and notice the signs and symbols of my life. See, yeah, it's more so he just acts on his instincts and he forgets the signs and the symbols. You know what I mean? It's like he'll act on something and then he won't pay attention to the signs and the symbols that tell him you're going the wrong way. If that makes sense. This is not right for you and you know it. The ancestors will throw up some gang signs real quick, or some U-turns, and he just don't even pay attention because he's in that need and lack mentality, or that survival mode kind of subconsciously. He might not even know this on a conscious level for himself. Okay? So next is, so what is the solution? What direction do you need to go in? And what should you be focused on? For you, you're going in the right direction. Far as everything, you both are, because like I said, this union is going to empower you both in your individuality when it comes to your relationship and healing your relationship with abundance, right? But you're a little bit more healed than he is. So you got the answers upright, you got the home in reverse, and contentment upright. So for you, it's like, the spirits are like, you have the answers. You already know. Keep focusing on what you're doing and how you're doing it. And, also don't push yourself too hard. Be at a place of contentment when you achieve certain levels. Because a lot of times when we're pushing ourselves, we don't stop to smell the roses, or, that kind of cliche thing, what they say. But we don't take the time out to congratulate ourselves. Hey, I just got my soaps in the store, like you told me, or I just got this $100 to $500 contract, or whatever it is. The spirits are saying you need to take the time, and your ancestors are saying, please take the time to be content and grateful for yourself and all the work that you put, you've been, all the things that you've been through and how much work and energy you poured into your situation and circumstance to get where you are. Make sure that you're aware of that, and don't allow what's going on in your home. And I don't believe it's your home physically. I mean, far as the situation with your husband, you know what I mean, and the situation with the division of the home, and all this divorce situation and all that. Don't allow that to distract you and in any way, because you have so much to be grateful for, and you have so much to be putting your energy and focus on right now that is happening for you, because you're in a space and place and time where you are in alignment with abundance, and everything that you work so hard for is going to come to fruition, and you have the answers, so just stay focused and keep moving, right? So let's see what he got going on. His solution, his focus, and his direction. So you have strength, clarity and upright, career, and trust. All right, so like I said, for some reason he don't trust himself regarding being able to manifest, or it feels more so that stability, maintain. I feel like to maintain certain things, I feel like he can manifest it, but to maintain it for a certain amount of time is a problem. And I feel like he doesn't trust himself, and that's an issue, and that's something that deals with the solar plexus, just that self-belief and that empowerment within his own self that I believe that you're going to help him with to some extent. And trust that wherever he feels that he needs to do regarding his career path that he needs to do that, I feel like he's aware of when he's in a dead-end situation. That's why I'm saying, what is he doing now? Does he believe that it's fruitful to him? Is it going to get him somewhere? Or is it just a dead-end place where he's not going to move anywhere, or really achieve anything? And he needs to trust his situation and circumstances, that he's not going to be in a space where he's lacking, or he needs anything, but he has to trust that. And he doesn't have the clarity, because like I said, I feel like when it comes to money and his job, he doesn't understand that if you don't, where you gonna how you gonna feed your family if you ain't got a job, or you know what I mean, if you don't, and he doesn't really see that clearly. He doesn't have that, he isn't in a space where and this is subconsciously, with abundance, where he can truly understand how that works, where you do not have to operate from a space of survival or that space of need and lack, but you can operate in a space of a person who understands their role as a creator, that they are a sovereign being, and they are the gods of their creations, and everything that you are manifesting and your perspective and your belief system and all that is a part of your creation, So I think he doesn't really see that clearly, and I think I think he has the strength card, because this is that solar plexus. He understands that he is strong, but it's not something that he really believes internally. You know what I mean? It's not something that he really, really understands about him internally, because I feel like if he was to really, really look at his situation and circumstances with a clear eye, with that third eye, he'd see that that he could do a lot better, and he could manifest a lot better within his own right when it comes to his career and his money making ability, or his relationship with abundance. But he doesn't really. With the upright, it's like, I feel like when people get uprights, and like I said, the cards tell me stuff, and then so the spirits tell me stuff, and it's different for everybody. I know that the cards have a overall meaning, but for me, I read the cards differently for every individual person, because that's the way spirit tells me to read it. And for him, this being in the upright, it's like he acknowledges the fact that he has some trust issues. You know what I mean? And he also acknowledges the fact that maybe this career is a dead end, as that's what I'm feeling. And he does, but the clarity, things come in out of clarity because of the way that his perspective, he's looking at it from the root chakra, and it's going to take him, some work for that through that solar plexus to really understand that. If that makes sense, I'm hoping it does. Okay. So next is we're gonna go. What does abundance look like within this union? So what does abundance have to say regarding to this union, right? So this is more confirmation what I was saying about that having that individual stability before you start to mix and mingle with abundance together, joining your two energies together, because you have the shadow in reverse and the ace of crystals in reverse. So this is manifestation and prosperity. He's all about manifesting and having things come into fruition, which is you, right? This is you. And then him, he's the shadow, self-improvement, and why can't I say this word? Say that word. I don't know why I just went in the daze room right quick. Ambition. I'm sorry. That's weird. So yeah, for him it's like, geez, why did that happen? Ambition. How is he with ambition? How is he with that? So, because I just went in a straight up blank with that. I couldn't even read that word. That is weird. So with him, it's like he's still working through his shadow aspects of that need and that lack, sis. And having that own, because I feel like he can empower you, but it's hard for him to empower himself. I feel like he's really good with pouring into you, but it's kind of hard for him to do that for himself subconsciously. And sometimes he may lack that ambition to and that strength and that courage to move forward and bravely face his fears when it comes to the things that he needs to do to attract more abundance. But see, with you, it's a lot different. You're in the space of manifestation. You're in the space of understanding the so-called dark and light aspects of all things, and you're not attached to either one. You're right, and you still have chosen to fall closer to the prosperity aspect of things and the positive aspect of things, understanding both sides of the coin. That's what abundance is saying. And then you have the be spontaneous. So it's going to take you guys doing things that you're not used to, or the opposite of what you used to do in your last unions when it comes to abundance. And I feel like just allowing you're allowing each other to have that individuality. You know what I mean? That space to be spontaneous, to be creative, to be just to be, because I feel like you guys weren't able to do that in your last, or in your last unions. You weren't able to just be and just do what you wanted to do, and at the spur of the moment do certain things that were fun, and like splurge on doing this, and like those kind of things are what I'm seeing. Be a little bit more spontaneous in this union recollection. Okay, and this is just what I'm saying about what I was saying earlier. Spirit was telling me to say earlier about the other past relationships or connections, and to just make sure that you are bringing those things to your awareness, stuff that may come up that would trigger things that happen in those past unions for the both of you, and just work on them. Understand that in your last relationship, or in your marriage, there was some issues when it came to money, and understand that those issues are going to be coming back up again, and making sure that you're not reacting the same, you're not handling things the same, and you're being more open, and you're having your own, because a lot of times, like with us, we pour a lot into our partner, and we give our partner everything, and then we turn around and we be like, maybe that's not what we were supposed to do. Maybe I was supposed to have mine and you have yours, and then we mix it a little bit, kind of figure out how things work and what didn't work for you in your past relationships, and what you need to do so that those things don't happen again. Because I say that to say with this, what can I burn? Why is that thing? I don't know why it's not like that, sis. I'm sorry. Thank you. What can I burn? Because it's more so about, I say that to say it's confirming about what I'm saying about making sure that you're aware of the triggers and the things that happened in the past relationships regarding money, regarding abundance, regarding not feeling open enough to be creative, not feeling open enough to if you feel like a situation or a job wasn't working out for you, just to be able to speak to each other and say, this is not good for me, and being able to feel free enough to leave that motherfucker, leave that job and find something else or whatever it is, to just not feel stuck in a situation or circumstance that eats your soul up because you have to provide or there's a need or a lack, And yeah. And this is more confirmation of being, with the blue, being very, very open with your communication when it comes to abundance and how you feel about money and how you feel about your goals with money. Business, discuss these things with each other. Your strengths, your weaknesses with money. Hey, I can't budget. You know what I mean? Or I spend too much. Or I don't know how to put nothing in the damn bank. Or I don't keep no receipts. Whatever it is, discuss your weaknesses and your capabilities and use them, to the best of your ability and help each other out with them. That's why I say it's like a self-improvement stage that you guys are kind of helping each other out with. And communication is key, and also being honest about your capabilities or lack thereof, and your strengths and your weaknesses when it comes to money and budgeting and things like that. And a lot of times couples don't really talk about these things without having judgment or expectation or things like that. So make sure that is not really involved when you have this conversation. All right, so last but not least, you have the overall advice from abundance. So abundance is saying always be truthful about what it is that you want and what it is you kind of wish to manifest, because people get stuck in unions and then they're just not on the same wavelength or vibration when it comes to abundance. And know and understand that you're a little bit more your relationship is a little bit more healed when it comes to abundance. So be aware of that and be truthful about that when you see these things coming up, maybe his strengths and things like that, so he can work on them, because I feel like this is what this connection is about. And then you have the renewal and enlightenment, and then the preparation and resourcefulness. So with the renewal and enlightenment, it's just with this peacock, she's so pretty. It's just understanding that there are new aspects of both of you that are going to be awakening. You're going to be seeing yourself very different than you saw yourself in the last connection, and him too. So there are a lot of, when I see renewal, I see like a rebirth, so be aware of that. Things aren't going to stay the same, and you're going to have a lot of enlightenment and a lot of self-awareness with this connection, and it's not always going to be pretty. It's going to be triggering at times, and that's okay, because that's the way that it's supposed to be, so that it can enlighten you to something different, to a new perspective, a new way of seeing and relating to things, right? So that's really important. And then you have the preparation and resourcefulness. So making sure that you guys are, like I said, for him, it's more so I think you have this ability to be prepared and resourceful for when things, not for when things don't work out, but just a just in case kind of a way of being. I feel like you're that kind of a person, and maybe he is not. So these are one of the things that we talk about when it comes to strengths and weaknesses. You have more of that ability to understand the cycles of life. I mean, we all should have this understanding that there are ups and downs. There's good and bad. There's there's dry seasons, and then there's seasons of fruitfulness, harvest. So these are the things that you prepare for, and this is maybe something that he needs to also be aware of, or be mindful of. But I also feel like he is open to it. That's why it's upright. I feel like he's open to being prepared and being resourceful. I don't feel like in both of y'all last union, it was like that people were just, those people you guys were with were open to be prepared, to be planning ahead, to be resourceful with your money and putting things aside, and doing little things like that. I don't feel like that was the kind of energy that came from your last union, if that makes any sense. All right, sis, I think that's all I got. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me. Love you so much. And I pray that this reading will bless you and give you clarity on whatever it is that you had questions about. Okay? Love you.